Hey, 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 hey.
Hey.
I know y'all ain't seen us in a while, but we here tonight.
Yes.
Hey.
Up on the couch, talking to y'all beautiful folks. So come on in the room. We definitely have something important to talk to y'all.
Tonight is definitely a deep conversation.
Yes.
Definitely is. Let's let people come on in, right, ladies, and vibe to a little bit of music until then.
How's everybody doing? How you doing, Miss D?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm doing good, Miss Danielle.
I'm doing good. You know, glad to be on the couch with my ladies and, you know, talking and doing what we do, you know, giving our opinions. You know how we do.
Come on in, y'all. Come kick with us tonight.
You know, it's been a while since we done seen y'all.
Yes, it has.
Come on in. Y'all know y'all want to talk.
Y'all know I told y'all at 10:30 tonight, so come on in.
Y'all supposed to be here at 10:30 sharp, like Miss Danielle said.
Yes. Unless your CP time, then you might be a little bit, you know, get about 5 minutes.
It's all right, ain't nothing wrong with it.
We're going to give y'all to about 10:34, and then we're going to jump on into it, because tonight's topic is very deep and very important discussion to talk about. It needs to be had.
Yes, we waiting on them to come on there. How y'all week been doing?
Ooh, girl.
Well, you know, of course, we're always behind the scenes busy trying to handle our business and doing everything.
Right.
Because as far as personal life, been crazy and ring around the roses, okay?
Right.
It's been crazy.
Yes, definitely. My week has been pretty busy. But you know what? It's the weekend. I'm here with my ladies.
Exactly. Yes. And Miss Tamika will be joining us next show, so don't forget, okay?
I know y'all want to see that beautiful face.
Yes, y'all know. Y'all know y'all love Miss Tamika. Miss Tamika, where you at, girl?
You know she in the comments, so make sure y'all show
Yes.
us some love. Y'all look very beautiful tonight,
Thank
ladies.
you, girl. You good, girl. I feel like I ain't been on the couch in a while.
It's been nice to be on the couch.
It is.
But it feels good to be back.
Right. It does. It does.
Niggas some lazy boys.
Lazy boy. Then we be sleep. Okay, well. I say we go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and get into it.
So, in case y'all don't know, well, hello and welcome to Kickin
Kickin'
and
and
Raw.
Raw.
I'm Danielle.
I'm Shania.
And I'm Miss D.
Yes, it's me.
I'm sorry. And this is a platform for men and women to come together where we keep it real and raw.
As always, the judgment-free zone. We see any negativity or drama, we will delete and block you, okay?
Yes, exactly. And here on Kickin and Raw at 10:30 on Saturdays, we will always talk about topics that are relatable to the people, to us, you know, to our friends, our family, whether it's politics, whether it's family development, social economic, sex education, you name it, we talk about it here. So if you ever have something that you would like for the ladies involved to speak about, you can definitely email us at kickinandraw20@gmail.com, or you can hit us in our messenger, okay? Either one will work. So
I did want to go ahead and say tonight's discussion, tonight's topic, tonight's situation that the world is going through is very deep. Can be very touching, it can be triggering. So I just want to remind everyone that, of course, this is a safe zone. This is a safe place for everyone to voice their thoughts, their concerns, their opinion. So please be mindful when you comment or if you say something. Please be mindful that other people may not feel the same way that you do. And please remain respectful, or we will have no choice but to remove you and block you, because we want this to remain a positive, uplifting platform.
yes, exactly. As what Ms. Shania stated, you know, all of us women on the platform, including Ms. Tamika, we may agree on some things, we may not, but we give each other our time to express, you know, our opinions, and so as we do with the viewers. So that's what we're just asking that you please do the same.
Yes, because all of our opinions matter. Even if it's not the same, it still matters, it's still important.
You or someone else may teach you something that you didn't know that you lacked, or that you didn't know you needed to know. Everything is definitely a learning experience. I just hope that you all will remain respectful to not only yourselves but to other people and to our platform as well. So, Ms. Miguel?
Absolutely.
Yes, exactly. So tonight, everyone, we are discussing and talking about Roe versus Wade. That is definitely something that is very political now. Something that is buzzing in everyone's ears. Something that is talked about worldwide right now. Roe versus Wade and the overturn of Roe versus Wade. In case you didn't know, on June the 24th of this year, Roe versus Wade was overturned. Ended the right to abortion for women. Okay. And I'm gonna go back on a little history of Roe versus Wade, just in case you didn't know, like when it was originally established was about 50 years or so ago. That way you can kind of have a little background of Roe versus Wade. So January 22nd, 1973, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the Constitution of the United States conferred the right to have an abortion. The U.S. Supreme Court decision struck down many federal and state abortion laws and fueled an ongoing debate in the U.S., which we clearly see to today.
Right.
Yeah.
And clearly that that right has been given back to the states to choose whether or not the women have the right to abort or not. And the original Roe versus Wade stopped that and left it up, basically like a free open hand or whatever the case may be. So it has been overturned. It has fueled a lot of fires, has started a lot of fires, and has a lot of women concerned for their health. Let's start off by, what do you ladies think about just the decision overall of Roe versus Wade being overturned? Do y'all agree, disagree, and what do y'all feel about just that decision?
I'll start. So I feel like we're stepping back. I feel like we were making progress back in 1973 to be able to control our own bodies. However, now it's as if we're going backwards instead of forward. I'm honestly very scared because what's going to change next? What's
Right.
are y'all gonna be clocking when I have my period? Are y'all gonna tell me to let you do, when I have sexual intercourse? What is going to happen next? What else are y'all gonna take control over? That's how I feel.
Yes, I agree with that. And honestly, me personally, I have different feelings about it. I'm upset about it, anger, scared. It's so many different feelings because I feel like the fact that you have that much control over someone else's body and feel like you even have that right to say you can or can't do this and everything else. And like you said, if you have that much control, what else are you going to try to control with our bodies? If at that point you're controlling whether or not a woman can have a child or not, or decide whether or not to have an abortion or not, and everything else, what more serious matters are you about to start controlling? And the simple fact that you took it out of your hands in your day with more serious issues going on. There's children out here shooting at schools. There's people going into schools shooting at children. It's people constantly, it's so much danger and everything. There's cops out here brutally beating on people on the daily. It's so much things that are bigger issues going on. I mean, hell, just last year it was a whole raid of people breaking into the White House. That's a security breach.
Right.
But you're out here worried about what a woman is choosing to do and whether or not she's ready to be a mother or not. And that's the issue that you're focused on. It's very
Right.
scary and it's ridiculous.
I think it's sickening. It's sickening and saddening, honestly.
Yes,
It is.
I agree.
What about you? How do you feel about
You
that?
definitely said it all. I definitely agree. I feel like it's a big step taken back from women's rights. Whether you agree or disagree, the fact that a man or someone of whatever stature has the right ability to tell a woman whether or not she can abort her child, or better yet, keep her child, or better yet, have to keep her child, or better yet, have to worry about her livelihood and if she's going to live or pass if something happened. For a woman that has 2 children and has had a miscarriage, I would be very scared to know that I'm going to the doctor and I've had this miscarriage, and someone has to decide whether or not I can have the procedure, to so that I can carry on with my life. That's something very hard, and for the states that has passed this law or in agreement with it, for women that maybe raped or molested, or better yet, for women that um my mind just went blank, but there's just so much in my head with this Roe versus Wade situation. I just feel like it's definitely a big step backwards, and I don't think anyone should have control over a woman's body but that woman.
So now, with what you stated, I mean, first of all, not every woman wants to be a mother.
Right.
Okay, that's number one. Not every woman is given the choice on when she created one.
Right.
A child or a fetus or however they want to.
Because some women are forced to have babies, and they don't want to have babies. So
some women have used every measure of protection, birth control, contraceptives, everything, and then they still wind up pregnant. And it's like, okay, now this system has ultimately failed them, because what are they to do? They're stuck with a fetus, a child, a baby that they don't want or can't provide for mentally, emotionally, physically, monetary, whatever the case may be. And now they no longer have a choice. The choice has been made for them. How would you feel, if for those who may agree, how would you feel if someone walked up to you and said, this is what you're going to do? You don't have a choice. Your choice has been taken away. I made the decision for you. How would you feel?
Right, and I definitely agree with that. And especially for those, and we are not saying pro-choice, pro-life, whichever one. We respect anyone's opinion, but for those who are in agreement, like make it illegal everywhere and blah blah blah. Are you taking on these kids that these women could possibly harm? Because we all know that mental health is definitely a serious thing, and it's definitely heavy during this time and day and age. Are you going to take on when those kids are abandoned, when those moms are in deep depression and something is happening? Are you going to step up and take on these kids, or are they going to just be lingering on the street like the thousands of children and kids that are homeless and abandoned now? Like, you out here saying, what you're saying, but are you going to step up and fund a home, or feed these children, or help these moms keep, what are you going to do to help these moms and these families?
No, they aren't. To piggyback off what you said, they're not going to help. You say this, there's alternatives and everything, but what are those alternatives? What is it called again? The kids, foster system, foster homes and everything. They're filled already capacity.
And
it's hard to find.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to find foster parents anytime anymore. Honestly, it's a shortage. A lot of states, they're actually begging people. There is such a shortage in foster parents, and you have all these kids in foster homes and everything else. So what are these kids supposed to do? Stay with unfit parents or people who aren't ready to be parents? Then basically they're going to jail or getting pressed charges against these people anyway because of child neglect, because they're neglecting a child they never wanted to begin with.
So prison rates are going to go up, crime rates are going to go up, mental health and issues are going to arise, homicides are going to arise. Like, just everything is going to rise by telling these women that they can't travel, or there's consequences in some states if they do. It's just crazy. No person should have that much control of a woman's reproductive system and body when you're not the one carrying that child. A lot of women have a hard time having babies, carrying babies. They might not even want to go through that again. A lot of women are almost about to lose their life carrying their child, bringing it to on this earth.
So just to clarify, with this Roe versus Wade overturn situation, are they saying that also medical necessity, the women that are needing to terminate their pregnancies medically, like needing to because of medical reasons, is that not allowed either?
Depends on the state.
But
go ahead.
It depends on the state, but yes, there are a lot of or several states that do not, regardless, even if the mother's life is at stake, they are not, even the doctors and a lot of actual healthcare providers are even concerned about this because they took an oath and basically is either breaking the law or upstanding that medical oath that they took to save their patient's life. But if they do, they're getting pressed charges against if they basically terminate that pregnancy.
So let's take a look at that, because that in itself, that statement, because I mean I know about it, but I don't fully know everything about it, of course. But so let's look at it like this. So the doctors are getting press charges on. The women are getting press charges and locked up. We are bringing children into the world that are not going to have the necessary, I'm going to say, fundamentals or equipment to thrive in our already messed up world. We're going to have a baby boom in an economy that is crashing, a very high poverty rate, a very high, I don't want to call it mental instability, but a lot of, with the current pandemic, everyone's mental state is really not in a good place. And we're also now, well, excuse me, we're not. The government is now also promoting backroom abortions that are also putting women at risk.
And backroom abortion.
So they would rather two people die? Because, I mean, if the woman dies, then technically the fetus dies.
Correct.
So technically, should the government get charged with murder?
You know they're gonna make a loophole for them to get away with.
Well, I'm just curious, because
they
if they're trying to charge women who get abortion with murder, or I forgot the other term, then should they get charged with murder? The government?
They should.
They
but
should.
You know that's not how it works with the government.
Unfortunately, but yes, some states are making loopholes where they are making those exceptions for rape, incest, medical reasons, and things of that nature. But there are some states that are like hardcore, like Texas.
Yeah, but I say like Texas,
Texas, like a lot of states are even saying they don't want to put mothers in jail, so they're trying to come up with what they call a minimum time served, which they shouldn't be doing time anyway.
Right.
But
these mothers may have other children, et cetera, like Texas, like you were saying. I think they forbid abortion, you know, when the fetal heartbeat is detected. And everyone knows that's been pregnant or been with moms that is pregnant, you don't really detect that until like between the 6th, 7th week. So that's, and most women don't really find out until then or a little bit after. So you're not giving this woman any chance of even deciding on what she wants to do because of this strict law.
They're worse than that now. They actually is basically, once that child is, the egg is fertilized, that's basically considered a child in their eyes. And they are pressing charges against, and a lot of states are. The charges are going to anybody, the mother or anybody who helped assist in the termination of that baby, whether it's doctor, fathers, anything. Even a lot of these places are even charging companies, because there are actually a lot of companies who believe in women's rights, and they're actually paying for their employees. They're paying travel expenses for their employees to go to the states where it's legal to get abortions. And Texas is even willing to basically press charges and prosecute them. And they're even going as far as prosecuting people even for using contraceptives, IUDs, Plan Bs, everything. And you can get up to a life sentence plus a fine of $10,000.
So it's like they want us to just pollute the whole world, and nobody's going to be taking care of these kids. But go ahead and pollute the whole world and move forward. That's how I feel anyway.
Yes.
Because there's no systems in place for these kids at all. There's not enough foster care homes, not enough good foster care homes. There's not a lot of aid, and a lot of these moms or whatever could possibly end up on government assistance, and honestly, that's still not helping. It's just so much that goes on with this for the woman's body to be on public display, as always. There's other things that should be on display right now, like she named the when they ran up in the White House, gun violence. Like, why is the women's body on display over top of all of that? You know, it's just,
we got pending wars and starving people. Like, but y'all want, the government now wants more people to come into the world.
And it's funny to me, especially using Texas again, because they're so down hard on this. I find it interesting. I can't abort a baby because I'm not ready to be a mother, or because I was raped or anything like that, or contraceptive didn't work, which Miss Shania brought up. Let's be honest. All contraceptive, none of it is 100%.
Right.
None of it is 100% going to keep you from getting pregnant. So if any of those things happen, I might do a life sentence in prison for making a choice and saving that child from a miserable life or anything, or me not being ready or anything like that. But it's okay for me to go get a gun and go shoot somebody and call it self-defense, and that's legal. I can actually end a living person's life and get away with it.
And the
with
right
a
to,
gun.
you know, I have the right to bear
I have the right to do that.
Nature, but that's not.
For me to choose what to do with my own personal body that's not hurting anyone else, what I'm doing with my personal body is an issue. So I can shoot somebody, and that's okay. But me doing something with my own body that affects my actual life, not nobody else's, is okay. And somebody else's, good. My own personal, bad. Make that make sense.
Exactly. You know, also to kind of touch on that, you know, we were discussing the charges that women are being charged with. It also makes me wonder what's going to happen on their records and to their children that they already have, if they have children. Because if they charge them with a felony, are they charged with felonies? Or for murder, homicide, you know, then social services will step in.
Right.
So not only are we controlling, or is the government trying to control women's bodies, you're also breaking up families. And let's be honest, I don't know the statistics on the races that get abortions. I don't know the numbers.
Right.
But what races does the government target the most? I'll leave that up to everyone's interpretation.
Right.
So what families are we really breaking up here?
Right.
What has been the agenda the whole time?
Definitely the poor.
Yes,
that's definitely the poor, whatever color you are, definitely the poor. Because let's be honest, people are going to find a way around all of this. I mean, we have people setting up, you know, in shops and places where
underground
stuff. I mean, you cannot make a woman want to have a baby. And I know a lot of people say, you know, well, you should be using your, you know, contraceptives and you should be doing it. But what if you were, like Ms. said, and all else fails? You know, and then what? And then I know they say, well, maybe you should be practicing abstinence and blah, blah, blah.
How can you practice abstinence? I'm sorry to cut you off. How can you practice abstinence when everything is sexualized?
Right.
Everything is sexualized. Everyone is naked on the magazine covers.
Right.
Everything is, your body, you can be free.
Right.
But when you're free and you have sex and you end up pregnant, you can't make that choice.
Right. Even the kids, cartoons and stuff, I mean, those are sexualized. Like, it's everywhere.
It was a big contradiction, or a big conversation with the whole Buzz Lightyear movie.
Right.
I haven't seen it yet, but
what they were saying, I think it was a same-sex couple, which there's nothing wrong with that.
It's a lot of same-sex couples in a lot of these cartoons and movies, and it's nothing wrong with it. But not everybody wants to expose their children to that. And
it's not even just same-sex couples. It can be the parents, a man and a woman, or 2 men or 2 women, whatever the case may be. Kissing, we should not be exposing our children
kissing in front of their children. Don't show that kind of affection. So it's like
respect people's boundaries.
Right.
I
I think a lot of people's boundaries these days are definitely not respected, especially the woman's boundary.
Correct.
Women are definitely not respected to the degree that they should be, whether it's with their reproductive system, sexualization, just our womanlyhood. Period. Everything is just under attack from every angle.
I mean, I feel like it's been like that since the beginning, honestly. Women have never really truly had rights I guess you could say, because in the beginning it was you were supposed to stay home.
Right.
You weren't able to read and write. You were supposed to take care of the kids. That's it. Not vote. Can't work. Can't get an education. And then it was the reproductive situation. Was Roe versus Wade was supposed to have solved that, and now here we are in 2022, and it's been overturned. So that's why I truly feel like everything is backpedaling, is going backwards, and I'm honestly scared for tomorrow because I couldn't imagine being in a situation where I am contemplating my, what choice can I honestly make? It's either go to jail for murder or bring a child that I'm not ready for into the world, or and it's honestly not even just what a woman can go through. That child may have different situations going on, and as a mother or as a parent, they may feel like it would be in the best interest of that child and that fetus they wouldn't have quality of life.
Right. It's so much that is under display and scrutiny with this overturn of Roe versus Wade. But I know we haven't really gone.
I was just about to add into what you were saying about the complications. It's sad because it's even to a point where if you even have a, I forget what it's called, where the egg is latched on inside the tube.
Oh, in the tubal?
Yeah. Like, it's even to a point where that's illegal. Even if that happens, you could possibly face jail time. Even
and
if
that's
you have
dangerous for the mom.
miscarriages.
You must get that baby out of your tubes, or it can erupt and you can possibly die.
And it's miscarriages. You can get charged for miscarriages because they don't know whether or not they look at it as you did it on purpose. Like,
you can have a spontaneous
and the thing about a
miscarriage.
miscarriage, like I said, I've had a miscarriage, and that still wasn't even though I was, had the operation, cleaned up and everything, they still don't know why I had the miscarriage. So how could any doctor even determine, unless you already had like a medical issue, that they was like, okay, this could possibly result in your, miscarrying the baby? How other can you even know, or why a woman even miscarries?
You're already high risk.
Right. So I don't understand.
So a woman will be punished for her body expelling a pregnancy.
Yes. Let's go to the comments, y'all, because I know we've been talking.
Yes, we can go
talking
on.
a lot.
It's been getting deep.
It has been. Chanel, I'm glad you started because I'm trying to get to the comments. Girl, my phone.
I'm going to go ahead and start from the beginning here. If I can get there. 1 second, y'all. Miss Tamika said, my beautiful team.
Hey, girl.
She also said, hashtag safe place. Hashtag judgment free zone. Hashtag wow. As always.
As always,
Yes. And she said, right, Shania, I agree. And she also said, speak on it, Miss D. Let's see. Miss Tamika also said, I feel like it just saddens me that this is what it has come to. Choices are being taken away from women. It is a scary time for women around the world.
It definitely is. It definitely is. I even listened to a recording earlier today, and just a woman just crying of how the abortion saved her life so much, and the women that helped her get it saved her life. And I listened to the other women's opinions on the opposite side, but give these women their own choice to do what they want to do with their body. You're not in that woman's body. You are not feeling what she's feeling, the emotions that she's going through, the issues that she may have in, or whatever. You're not having to deal with that.
Right.
So I just weird that you just trying to control a woman's body before you control gun control or something. It's just weird.
And to piggyback off of that, I actually seen statements also from some females and things, and one that stood out to me was one from a high school girl. She, I think, was in her senior year. She's actually getting ready to look at schools when Roe versus Wade was overturned, and now she is very terrified. And now a lot of the schools she was looking to go to, because the state they're in and she's terrified, she's no longer even looking. Like, her list of schools are now so much smaller because she refuses to go to a school in one of those states if anything happened. She's not trying to bring press charges. She's and that's sad that a high schooler has to think about things like that.
That's how deep it's going, to where someone is not wanting to go to college somewhere because of the state that it's in afraid, because I mean a lot of women do become impregnated in college, you know. So that's, it's more than just what's on the surface. It goes so much deeper.
Especially if it's in one of those places where it's illegal, even if it's a rape. Because let's think, like, look at all that goes on. A lot of rapes happen on college campus. A lot of girls are drugged and things like that. So that's one of those situations. And to think, if you are raped or anything happens, and that state is illegal for you to terminate your pregnancy, even if you were raped or whatever, that's very difficult and hard.
Exactly. I agree.
I'm gonna finish reading these comments, ladies. Ms. Tamika also said, I agree. Ms. Danielle, I agree. It's like, how can you win? And she also said, this topic is so needed and deep. Thank you, ladies, for speaking on this topic. It takes courage and boldness. Hashtag let your voice be heard.
Yes, we appreciate that.
I also wanted to touch on something I just thought about. I don't know if you ladies have seen, but on social media it's been a well-known period tracking app, menstrual cycle tracking app, Flow. And there's few other ones, but I've used Flow and I liked it.
I use it.
But a lot of women are now scared to use that because I mean on the Flow app for women, if anyone's used it, you can track, you know, your menstrual cycle, you know, when you have intercourse with condom, no condom, whatever the case may be, spotting, you know, everything the woman goes through, you can pretty much put in there. And it's been a big question on security, feeling like, you know, now we can't even track our menstrual cycles because that the government can now pull that information from those menstrual cycle tracking apps, and women can now get in trouble, be charged.
I'm actually glad you brought that up because I've been doing research on that, because I personally use those apps and I use Flow, and I know Flow said that they are coming up with a anonymous mode, which, reading up further, I do not trust, and I advise anyone who uses Flow to switch apps immediately, because Flow has actually, they say they don't sell to third-party information, but they do. They've actually done it in the past for molestation or child trafficking cases and things of that nature. So you can't trust that. From what I've read, a lot of these apps you might as well go ahead and get rid of. From what I've seen and read on, if you still want to use the apps, like the period tracker apps, the best ones to get are the free ones. And make sure that you read the privacy policy and the privacy information. Make sure read it in detail. I know that it's always a lot, but with everything going on, it is very important. You need to read to see if they actually sell to third parties and everything like that. And also make sure that it is not a US app. Like I read that the app Clue, which is one I use too, they are a European-based company, so they are not within the US, so they cannot get access to your information and things like they do for US-based apps like Flow and things like that. And Clue has already put out a statement that over there in Europe, they also do not sell information even to their own government. They're very strict on their privacy policies and things like that, and they ensured that they will also make sure that their US-based customers' privacy is protected and things like that. So if you do want to make sure, like I said, it's the free version, a free app. It's not United States based, and make sure you read that privacy information and all of that to make sure that that one is safe, because they are going to start using these apps and getting the information. They already do use it for other things and pull it. They will have access to your profile, and they will use that to track everything. And they also use your phone. So if you're traveling, because some of these states are actually making it illegal, they're trying to press charges if you try to go to another state that is legal to get an abortion. They're still trying to charge you for even leaving the state and still getting an abortion. So make sure when you're doing that, make sure to start turning off your location on your phone, because they are going to track your location and everything. They're basically doing anything and everything in their power to basically catch you in the act if you try to get an abortion or anything of that nature. They're using your phones against you, technology, these apps, your location, so they can see when you left or if you try to go out of state for these things. It's sad that we have to do all that just to basically have privacy or to protect ourselves.
It is, and let's be honest, with this new overturn of Roe versus Wade, a lot of prenatal care and a lot of that important first trimester care is not going to be, that's going to be a decrease of that because they're going to be scared to, okay, well, if they know I'm pregnant, then I, have a follow-up appointment or something, then I come back not pregnant or might not show up, then, okay, where are these women? Like, what's going on, so that's going to be really scary, too.
What if you have a chemical pregnancy?
Right.
Or a false positive, or whatever the case may be. I mean, is the government going to be banging down our door asking what happened?
Right. There's a good possibility.
I mean, I'm just being honest. Women go through a lot when it comes to the reproductive, So it's like, now are they going to take away, elective tubal ligation? Is that what it's called? Are they going to take away that?
Yeah,
like,
the right to get the tube tied.
Because is that considered contraceptive?
Right.
Or
That's the question.
I haven't seen nothing about that. So
but
because
that has to play a role in this.
And don't they not allow you to get your tubes tied until you
a certain age,
or a certain amount of kids?
Yeah.
So what if this person knows for a fact I don't want kids, and with this new Roe versus Wade overturn, I want to go ahead and get it tied early. Like, are y'all allowing women that option now?
I don't think they are. I don't. I'm not saying I know that information, but I'm saying I feel like that's what's coming next.
Right.
One of the things.
Right.
I think so.
And also to touch back, I'm sorry if I could.
Because that also saves women's lives,
Yeah.
From having future children because of health reasons or whatever the case may be.
But to touch back on that, the period menstrual cycle tracking apps. I did watch a video on TikTok of a woman. She had a preteen daughter. I think she's about 11 as well. Because let's be honest, our kids are developing a lot earlier. And early, whatever. But she was teaching her how to, what is the word? Calculate her menstrual cycle, and if she missed her menstrual cycle, if she had been having intercourse or whatever the case may be, how far along she would be, or when her conception date would be, and stuff like that. And I think that is something maybe to look into, to not have everything so digitalized and on our phones and apps and stuff. Maybe get you a calendar. I know that it might not be the most convenient thing, but honestly, we have to do what we have to do in order to protect ourselves from our choices being taken away. Because what other choice do we have now?
And it's going to be a lot of women losing lives because the backdoor pregnancy, abortions and everything back then was the reason why they came out with Roe versus Wade, because y'all tried to ban it before. Women were still going.
Norma McCorvey is the reason why. As well, because she was having her third child and she didn't want to have her third child. She wanted an abortion. And I believe it was in Texas, that, they were trying to stop her. And ultimately, the judge sided with her. But, that's when Roe versus Wade came about.
Yeah, like the women were dying because they were going to these backdoor abortion clinics that were unsafe, unsterile, that were losing their lives and things like that, or the things were going left because they weren't actually having professionals do it and things like that. And now basically y'all are doing this again. What do y'all think is going to happen? I mean, the same thing's going to happen because, like you said earlier, if a woman really doesn't want to have a child, she's not going to have that child. It's you can't force somebody to do something.
Or if a man doesn't want a woman to have a child that he doesn't want, there's going to be a lot of abused women, a lot of mentally, physically, emotionally abused women from males that do not want to have a child with that woman. So I don't think the government is looking at the bigger picture. I think they're looking at, whether it's right or wrong, to terminate a pregnancy, and they're not looking at everything that goes into that decision, because that's not an easy decision for anyone to make.
It's not.
It's not an easy decision to decide to carry a baby
It's
or
not.
to raise a child. It's not
Like
something.
you said, neither side is easy. Deciding to abort your child is not. That's a very hard decision, and deciding to carry your child is a hard decision.
But you know, go ahead.
I'm sorry. And I'm glad you brought up that, to piggyback off what you just said, I can't remember exactly what state it was, but there is actually a state, or several maybe, I can't remember off the top of my head, but where they're actually basically pitting the women against the men, where if they find out, they get an abortion or whatever, they are basically not pressing charges against the women, but making them basically be a witness and testify against the person who performed the abortion and the father of that child. So they're not pressing charges against the woman who for getting an abortion. Instead, they're going to press charges against the father and whoever performed it.
Father.
Yeah.
Well, what is that like?
I guess they look at it as, I don't know, I guess maybe they felt like the father had control or could have said no or whatever. I'm not
Could have
sure.
said, let's just be honest here.
What are they trying to say? The father could have told that woman not to or stop her or something?
I'm guessing so.
Okay, so let's just be honest here, and I'm just gonna be blunt with it. We're very sexual beings, okay? Like most everyone has had sex or is active or was active at some
Human
point.
think physical activity.
Right.
Physical,
So,
Yes.
what is that going to do? I'm confused. Are we going to tell if you can't use contraceptive? Okay, so that means no condoms, right? Where's a man supposed to ejaculate?
Well, according to the
I guess in their hand.
well,
in the
according
napkin.
to the
I don't know.
representative in Utah, a senator in Utah, she said, and yes, this is a female, actually said that women should start controlling the amount of semen that they allow in their body, and if they allow it in their body, they need to control how much they absorb or whatever.
And how you
She
can
was-
control
According to
how much you
her,
absorb?
women can control how much the semen is ejaculated
Well,
into
she
their
needs
body.
to teach a class. Because
I would like to
think
talk to
other
this
women
woman.
would like to know how you control what's coming out of that man's body part and is going.
So he can't ejaculate into a condom. You can't use a female condom. You know, the one that goes in,
Right.
So you can't use birth control. You can't use Plan B. So
Can't use IE.
IUD, none of that. Now we don't know about the tying of the tubes and so forth. So basically, you're giving it to a man to ejaculate in his hand, a woman to swallow, or nothing. No sexual intercourse at all. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be so vulgar, but I'm just being
Right.
honest here.
No, that's
so-
true.
I guess you got catching in your belly button or something else. You
I
gotta be
mean,
creative.
but let's just be honest here. You don't have to be ejaculated in to get pregnant,
Exactly.
and a lot of people don't take that into consideration. He can ejaculate on your stomach and
And it's
drip down.
Right.
I don't know the exact time a sperm could live, but it's
I think he can live a little bit.
Well, I guess
48
you need to start rubbing some spermicide on your belly and everything.
But we can't use contraceptive. So what are you supposed to do? It's not funny. I'm not laughing.
It's not.
I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's ridiculous.
Right.
It is.
It definitely is. So what
It's
do y'all
leaving you with no options whatsoever.
So do y'all think, as President Joe Biden, do y'all think he's doing enough with this overturn of Roe versus Wade? I know that he called it ridiculous and hold on, what was his exact word? Outrageous behavior and a mistake. That's what he called it. So do y'all feel like he's doing enough? Because I know he's I don't know if he has put it into place just yet, but he has started trying to get things in place to protect women's rights of traveling to other states and some of the other policies that's been in hand. He's trying to protect that. Do y'all feel like he's doing enough or what?
Honestly, I feel like he's trying to, but from what I've been researching more and more about Roe versus Wade, right now, basically all the states and stuff like in the Senate it's Republican led. Like
Right.
Republicans are running it, and they're the main ones who want this. And a lot
Well,
of those,
Republicans believe in,
yeah,
which is
but-
fine. You believe in that. But it is definitely
but
Republican.
a lot of those states where it's still legal and are going to stay legal, because some of the states, a lot of the states where it's
signed
still
up
legal,
for legal.
they are is legal for now, but it's short term. Like Virginia is supposed to switch in August, and in some states it's a ban because it's still court battles and stuff going
supposed
on.
to switch, or you mean they are voting?
It's from what I've seen, it's supposed to switch, and it'll be illegal after 15 weeks of pregnancy. You can't get an abortion after 15
Well,
weeks.
it's already that's what it's always been.
Yeah, but
Because it's 3 months and I think a week or something, which is about a
well,
little less than 15
they're
weeks.
trying to start with that, and then what's
Well,
his name is
it
trying
actually
to
was
lower
12 or 13 weeks, so 15 weeks is
it.
a little
He's trying
past.
to.
So what about stillborns?
Right.
I mean, a lot of women have had that happen,
Yeah.
and there's no rhyme or reason as to why that happens, or there may be a medical issue. So are they going to get charged with murder for that as well? I mean, I'm just asking in general. Like, there's so many different variables and so
It
many
is.
different serious,
It is.
situations that can
Because
occur.
like if the baby was stillborn and they knew early on, like are you gonna still make her? It depends on how far she is, whether she has to push it out. Nah, but if she doesn't, like, are you gonna
I
make her
feel
carry
like they're
that?
gonna make the women
And-
carry it
and,
full
you
term,
know,
and
That is emotional warfare.
That's PTSD.
That's
And
that
that's
is
trauma.
the simple fact that you're making a woman carry an unborn child inside of her full term, and then making her actually push that child out and give birth to it.
And it has me thinking of hysterectomies. A lot of women have, complications from pregnancy or, really bad, what is it called? Fibroids
Yeah, about to say
and,
fibroids.
different stuff like that. So are they going to take away the right for the reproductive right, because that's our reproductive organs? Are they going to take away the ability to get a hysterectomy because they want to control whether a woman has a child or not?
I know it seems like to me everything is under this umbrella at stake, and I don't feel like people are looking at the deeper picture. Like I said, have your choice, pro-life, pro-choice, whatever you chose, but allow someone to choose. They make their own choice.
And
That's
if you
how I
don't
feel.
agree with it, don't agree with it for yourself.
Right.
That's you. What your person next door or what Sally down the street is doing ain't got nothing to do with you. Is she pro-life or pro-choice? That's her choice. That don't have nothing to do with you. If you were minding the business that paid you, you wouldn't even know that she was pro-choice or whatever.
Pro-life or pro-woman?
Right.
You wouldn't know. And back to what I was saying about basically it being Republican-led, I feel like it's very important. A lot of people don't realize, like, this is one of the things where voting is so serious, because
Right.
with everything and elections coming around again, primaries and stuff like that,
In November, October, November, make sure
it
you
is
vote.
very important. Think about who you're voting for. A majority of these Republicans, and they've already said it, once they get that Republican-led, a lot of these states, and basically even the states right now where it is legal, are going to turn. They're going to have it illegal. It's going to be banned. If they get the full control like they want, and it's definitely Republican-led, you might as well basically say abortions will be legal 50 statewide, basically.
And let's just, even though we're focused on Roe versus Wade right now, but what else is going to be on the chopping block? You may feel like, well, that doesn't concern me,
Mm-hmm.
But what about same-sex marriages or things like that? Those going to soon be on the chopping block. Now that may concern you, So just put yourself in other people's shoes.
And that just irritates me again, because the simple fact, gun rights and gun laws and gun control has been on the chopping blocks for years.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all still have not came up with a policy or something for that. But literally, in a few months, you were able to make a decision for somebody else's body that quick.
Right.
You could find that out that quick. And
Right.
my also concern is, you want all these women to bring in children and just keep populating the world and everything. Not only are foster homes and everything going to be filled, but how are they supposed to take care of these kids? Because poverty is extremely high right now. And there's already a food shortage to feed grown adults and the children that are already in this world. Formula shortages, recalls, and everything.
Monkeypox, COVID, everything else.
Like, just the natural resources, food, which you need to sustain. There's not even enough for the people in the world that's living now. And
Right.
now you're trying to have a full-blown baby boom. How does that make, where's the balance? Where's this food coming from? There's not even enough jobs. There's inflation. People are struggling day to day to survive. The cost of living is going up, and the paychecks ain't going up. What y'all offering to pay is not, y'all raised the minimum wage a little bit, but that's not offsetting the amount how big inflation has went up.
Exactly.
It's nowhere near enough or catching up. But you want people to bring children into this and struggle even more. I mean, it's more and more. The homeless rate has skyrocketed. I mean, there's not even enough room in homeless shelters, women's shelters, and things like that for women with the children they already have.
Exactly.
Like, I'm just not understanding y'all's thinking. Y'all are thinking about one thing and one thing only, and not the overall bigger whole surround picture. And like I said, it's once again, y'all focus on somebody else's business instead of minding the business that pays you.
And I understand that religion plays a big part in people's decision on this issue, as well as mine. But I also put, my own personal and put myself in other people's shoes into making my decision. I feel like, a lot of times people allow religion to get in the way so much that they aren't feeling sympathetic or empathetic, however you want to put it, for someone else's decision that could be life or death or whatever the case may be.
And me personally, I feel like, excuse my language, the religion is bullshit. Y'all use that as a cover story. It's not about religion. I'm stop using that as y'all goddamn excuse to try to cover and control people. Y'all are not God, Allah, or no higher power. What y'all keep trying to use is, oh, this is not right, this is against God, or whatever your belief is, will, and stuff like that. That ain't even got nothing to do with you. You are not that person's God. You are not God yourself. If you're Christian, you ain't God. So what they choose to do with their life, or if you look at that as a sin, that don't affect you. That's something they have to take up with God, not you. Why are you trying to control them? Any other religion, y'all constantly try to throw religion, but I could have sworn religion and politics is supposed to be separate. I mean, ain't that what's in the Pledge of Allegiance? Ain't that part of the Constitution? Religion
It's
is
supposed to be
stuff supposed to be
separate,
separate.
but we know that it's not.
Whew. I'm gonna get into these comments, y'all, because we've been going. We've been talking a lot.
We
We've been
have.
talking a
I need
lot.
some of these politicians to come on over here so I can throw a shoe at their head.
Let's see where we stopped at. Where did you stop at?
I think I got it.
Okay.
Miss Tamika said, great information, Miss Steve. We real raw baby, so say it all, Shania. Yes. She also said, hashtag kicking it out, hashtag raw, hashtag real authentic women. That way. Kickingitabout.com, make sure you sign up for them newsletters and everything else. Stay in the loop. We truly love our supporters. We thank y'all for watching our podcast, sharing our podcast, giving us feedback on our podcast. Just joining in on the podcast. We love it.
Yes.
She also said, speak, Miss D. And then she also said, but it could be religion for someone. Right, definitely. That's why I said what I said in regards to the religion aspect. I just feel like because a lot of people are very strong with their religion, and I respect that very much. I just feel like just take individual as the individual, and just don't group everybody as one.
And I feel like if you're strong with your religion, that's fine. But not everybody has that same religion as you. You're forcing your religion and your belief on somebody else or something else. Just because you view it as that and that's your religion does not mean that that's everybody else's religion and belief.
I think it all boils down to is what a person does with themselves or for themselves or to their body is their business. It's not for anyone else, regardless of their religion, nationality, the government, whoever. So it's not their job to police or politic what happens to that person's body, especially a woman's body. It's not, whatever you believe, pro-choice, pro-life, pro-woman, pro-government, whatever you believe, that's your business. But please do not imply, put that on someone else for them to feel bad for the choice that they're making or the belief that they believe in, because we're all different. None of us are exactly the same. We're not private copies. It boils down to honestly just like Miss E said, minding the business that pays you. Mind your own business. Mind your own body, and do what's best for you at the end of the day. We cannot, tell someone to feel a certain way or tell them not to feel a certain type of way. We respect all opinions. Your opinion is viewed. We'll never try to change your view or your opinion. But it is important to have these conversations, to hear different viewpoints, because you may see something a different way after you have this conversation. And these challenging conversations need to be had so people can start talking and getting more educated and not having such a stigmatism behind these powerful conversations.
I agree.
And I am shocked about, like, I was looking over the list of, like I was saying earlier, about it's a lot of companies out here who are actually supporting women's health rights and things like that. And a lot of them on that list, I was actually, some I wasn't shocked by, but there was some that I was actually shocked by that will pay for their employees to go out of state, their transportation costs. Like Walt Disney was someone, JP Morgan, Amazon, which I'm not surprised by Amazon, Starbucks, like it's
Starbucks, I know it's off subject, but on subject, Starbucks actually pays for fertility treatments. If you work for Starbucks for a certain amount of time, part-time, there's the people that I follow on TikTok that are having, fertility issues and their own fertility journey, and they, if you work at Starbucks part-time, their health insurance covers fertility treatment.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Just FYI.
That's wonderful.
Tesla, Airbnb, like it's a whole.
Yeah, I know that. I've seen the Airbnb were offering the homes for the women.
Lyft is another one. Microsoft, like it's a whole list of them, and I'm loving the simple fact that they are willing to go that extra mile, especially if you're a lower income family whose health insurance is Medicaid or things like that, because those women are definitely, if you need an abortion, are going to have the most issue, because Medicaid and the governments have now basically took that away. Like Medicaid will not cover abortions anymore. Like
I never knew that Medicaid covered. When did they even cover abortion?
I didn't know that.
When?
I don't know how long ago, but I think they
Now,
stopped it a while
I'm
back.
just asking, like, when did they ever cover
certain ones
abortion?
used
Now I
to
want
actually
to know.
cover it.
That must have been years ago.
And
Years ago.
Government issue, like any type of.
Well, isn't Medicaid ran by the government?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they would have you, and that's another thing. They would have, by being a lower income, like I stated earlier, it's attacking. This decision is attacking lower income individuals, because a lot of lower income individuals have Medicaid. So all of their health history, everything is easily accessible by the government.
Right. And I'm glad that all of these companies are doing that. It would just be nice as well if they do it for regular maternity leave, Extend the helping hand for that.
6 weeks is not enough time.
Just throwing it out there.
And a lot of times it's not even paid.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially if you're
Unless your
part-time.
company actually got like
A lot of
real
times
good
if you're
benefits.
part-time, it's definitely not paid. You are going without pay the whole time that you're out.
Now I have one question though. I'm thinking about it in the simple fact that they're able to go through your medical records and everything like that to see if you had an abortion and things like that. Isn't that a HIPAA violation?
Definitely.
Shouldn't the government be charged with murder?
Shouldn't they be charged with murder and for violating HIPAA? I mean, that's got to be a lawsuit waiting
The
to happen.
government should have been charged with murder when they brought the crack in the black community, okay? Let's just go there, okay? They should have been charged with murder.
That's a conversation for a different time,
Exactly.
y'all.
Just
Let's
saying.
be honest. The government should have been charged for murder on
Plenty
a
of
long
things,
list of
okay?
things, if we want to be
So,
honest.
But
yeah.
I just want to say, you know, ladies, I really value you all's opinion and everything
Yes,
y'all
thank you.
stated tonight, because although, you know, we all may have different viewpoints, it's very good to give, to come together and have such an intellectual conversation about such a deep, not even a topic, it's real life. It's literally an end to an era that,
Right.
you know, women's health is no longer important.
Right.
It's very saddening, it's very sickening, but I'm just thankful that we have this platform to be able to discuss this, because Kickin and Raw definitely talks about, you know, all the things that is
Yes.
going on and very important. But
And let's just be clear. We're talking about this, but that doesn't mean that we all, some of us believe in abortion, some of us don't on this
Right.
platform. Let me
Right.
just throw that out there. So please don't make the assumptions of, even though we're speaking our truth, we each have our own individual. And, you know, and I'm glad that we are able to talk about a lot of stuff here on Raw, because as women, first of all, as a woman, you should be discussing this, okay?
definitely.
You should not be a woman and not paying attention to what's going on with your womanhood. Whether you done having kids or about to have kids or not thinking about kids, you definitely should be paying attention to what's going on when it's dealing with you being a woman. And us ladies on this platform being a woman is definitely, we're going to discuss this.
And me personally, to piggyback or follow up on what you were saying about us having our different opinions and everything like that, like don't assume. But I feel like it's bigger than, even if you have your own opinion, it's pro-choice, pro-life, or you're against it, or whatever you don't believe, or you do believe in abortion. I feel like it's bigger than that. It's a bigger picture. It's, think about it as, you're a woman and somebody has the right to tell you what you can and can't do with your body. Regardless if you personally believe in it or want one or don't believe in it, you never know what can happen in life, period, point
Right.
blank. You never know what life is going to throw at you. And it might not even be you, it could be your child, like your daughter. She might come up in an age, or a grandchild, your granddaughter, and the way these laws is. And what if she is basically has a miscarriage or is in that situation
Or abusive
anything,
relationship.
or abusive relationship, or she
Anything.
has a health issue and she's in a hospital bed, and because of your beliefs or whatever, and you voting with this and going along with this, she's in a hospital bed and the doctor's telling her basically it's either you or the baby if we don't terminate this baby, but if we do, she's going to jail. How are you going to feel? Like, it's more to it than just this. Like, in the overall picture, whether you believe in it or not, it's so many different parts and pictures to this puzzle, and you can't just focus on that. And the simple fact of your daughter will be in that bed and she has no say on what she wants to do with her body in that situation. She can't make that choice on her own. The government has made that choice for her, that her life no longer matters, point blank period. She can't even save her life. And I guarantee you, if you're in that situation like that, I guarantee you'll look at that situation, this whole situation, a lot differently.
I'm gonna say this, and I guess I'm gonna be kind of
Yeah.
done with the conversation, but that's almost like saying that if a man rapes a woman, that's okay, because, which is not okay, but that's like saying it's okay because the government controls our body. If I'm making sense, I don't know if I'm saying it the right way, but it's like, are they gonna arrest the rapist, or are they not, because pick and choose, because they're now controlling women's bodies? If I don't know if I'm saying that right.
I know what you're trying to say. You didn't.
Maybe I didn't read it right.
But you,
Yeah.
I get what you're trying to say. Well, you got it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I really, like I
That's
said, this conversation definitely went there. But
It
I'm just
did.
glad we were able to
Yeah.
do it. So
Me
we
too.
appreciate y'all for tuning in on another night of Kicking It Raw. We thank y'all for kicking it with us tonight.
Yes.
Please
yes.
have these discussions. It's very important. Please share. Someone may need to hear this message. You may need to hear this message, and you might not receive it right now, but you may receive it later.
Exactly.
So, like we always say, y'all,
Hashtag
Kickin' It Raw. Hashtag raw. Hashtag real authentic women.
Good night,
Y'all
y'all.
have a
Love
good
y'all.
night. Thank you all.